Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Nordic Women's Cup 2025 here from Elmia Wood in Jönköping in Sweden. We're looking forward to some great action with 5 fantastic female, I don't want to say lumberjills, but let's call them timber sports athletes that we have brought in from around the world. We've got a couple of Canadians, an American, and 2 Swedish women that are going to be competing in stock-staw, standing block chop, single buck, and the underhand chop today for our competition. As you can see, Elmia Wood is starting to bustle with fans coming in to check out the action of our STIHL TIMBERSPORTS Nordic Women's Cup 2025. And as I mentioned earlier on in the day, we have a fully packed day. After the Women's Nordic Cup, we have the Men's Nordic Cup. And there is our main stage, getting ready for the action here in our competition.
Nordic Women's Cup. Och vi kommer dra igång här ganska strax, så passa på att komma fram och få lite en bra plats framför scenen här så att vi ser och händer allting som sker.
So as we get ready to bring our women onto the stage and introduce our athletes for the day, we're talking about 4 different disciplines that will be competed by our women. The stock saw, of course, with the MS661, the standard saw that you can buy in any STIHL timber or a steel shop around the world. That's a motor saw. Then we have the standing block chop, where they will cut a standing piece of wood in half from 2 sides. Then, of course, the single block, the 2-meter-long single saw that is so typically traditional for timber sports, and then the underhand chop. And there we see our one of our Swedish athletes, Åsa Nordberg. Also competing for Sweden will be Tova Njörstad. For the US, we have Kelly Kerrigan here. You can see her there in the background. There's Tova just to the right of Åsa Nordberg. And we also have Marie Derieux and Megan Hall in the house from Canada. And of course, our judging crew that will be on stage, making sure that everything is fair and legal. And we'll get things started shortly here with the introduction of our staff.
Skulle jag ha någonting att ge timmersport så kan man gå ner till STIHL där. Där kan man testa på en av grenarna. Inte med en riktig yxa. Det så jobbar vi inte i Sverige. Utan vi jobbar med gummiklubbor. Men då kan man i alla fall testa på så man känner ja men det här tycker jag är kul. Så testar vi det. Ja, är publiken med då? Är ni sugna på att göra detta eller? Ja, men det var ganska bra respons. Tycker jag ändå. För det var liksom första försöket. Men vi provar en gång till.
All right, so a couple of the very important individuals coming on stage shortly will be our judging staff. There you see on the right-hand side, Bart Janssen. He is our head judge, and now coming up onto the stage, Victor Kleimo. He and Bart Janssen will be taking care of our on-stage officiating. So you'll see them busy checking the logs, checking the axes, checking the individuals to making sure that all the cuts are fair and safe. They'll also be working in concert with our competition control center, which is off to the side of the stage where we have high-speed cameras, monitors, and everything. And now coming up onto the stage is Megan Hall from Canada. And then we have Marie Derieux. Ladies were backstage warming up and looking a little bit nervous as they come up. Kelly Kerrigan from the United States coming up on stage right now. And then Åsa Nordberg is our next athlete coming up. We mentioned her a little bit earlier on. Hopeful to take the top spot here and pride of Sweden. And of course, one of the stronger competitors, Tova Njörstad from Sweden, coming up onto stage right now. So those are our 5 competitors for the women's competition, and they will start this competition off in stock saw shortly. And because we have an uneven number of competitors, we'll have 3 heats. The first heat will be a single person on stage. Megan Hall will be alone to try and get the fastest time possible for the stock saw, and this will be the way it will go throughout the entire competition for our women, as we have an uneven number of ladies here. So let's take a look at the format for our competition really quickly so you can get up to date on what's going on.
The STIHL Timbersports women's competition. All athletes will compete in 4 disciplines. The maximum points awarded for each discipline result from the number of participating athletes. The first discipline is the stock saw. The fastest athlete will receive points equal to the total number of athletes competing, down to 1 point for the last place in each discipline. The second event is the standing block chop. Points remain the same, awarded based on times, and as with all events, any rule infraction will result in a disqualification and the athlete will receive 0 points for that discipline. As the third discipline, every competitor will need to show their skill in the single butt. And in the underhand chop, it's the athlete's last chance to claim valuable points. The points from all disciplines are accumulated, and the athlete with the highest point total wins the competition.
All right, the stage is set, the judges are set, the athletes are set. Now we just need to find out about the tool and discipline for our first one coming up.
The STIHL MS661CM stock saw is used in STIHL Timbersports as the ultimate test of operator skill. Designed for the toughest jobs in forestry, it produces approximately 7.3 horsepower, has a displacement of 91.1 cc, and weighs 7.4 kilograms. To ensure evenly and fairly matched saws, professional STIHL technicians prepare and test the saws before each competition. Stock saw. After the starting shot, the contestants have to cut 2 wooden discs, so-called cookies, within a 10-centimeter mark. 1 downward and 1 upward. The attempt is only valid when both discs have been cut off completely and within the marks.
So there's our starting list, and as I mentioned, Megan Hall will be on stage alone for heat number 1. Then Marie Derieux and Kelly Kerrigan will be in heat number 2, and Åsa Nordberg and Tove Njørstad in heat number 3. And there we see Megan Hall coming out on the stage. Now, you might have heard in the background while we were doing the tool and discipline, the saws raging. Well, that was the final test being made to be sure that these saws are, in fact, set and primed and ready to go for these heats. These are warm start heats, so that means the saws will be running when the athlete picks it up for the heat. And you can see that Megan is going to cut from the other side of the block as opposed to how they usually set it up. And this is everybody's personal decision here. In this case, you can see that rubber pad that the saw has been placed on. This is something that's been instituted in the last 5 years to be sure that the saws don't walk away from their starting position on the deck before that starting gun goes. It used to be that the saws would sit on the bare floor, and the athletes would sometimes have to put a saw or their shoe beside the saw to make sure that it didn't hop away on them before they picked it up. So now, with the advent of these pads, it just makes life a little bit easier for the athletes, and we've seen much better pickups and cuts with these as well. So, quick warm-up here, and if you follow STIHL Timbersports, you know that this discipline isn't about power. This is about accuracy and really knowing the equipment, listening to the saw, feeling the saw in your hand.
Timber.
Here we go.
3, 2, 1, go!
So a nice pickup for Megan Hall as she gets that saw right to work right away. It's looking like a very nice clean cut. Crucial transition. Oh yeah, that was a solid transition to the upcut, and it looks like she's got a nice one coming here. Oh, and she's out the top with a 14.70. Now, I'm not real sure that's a women's world record. I'll double check that here, but fairly sure that we don't have a world record there.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the good's good.
So no, that is definitely not a women's world record. That is held by Alren Übing of Germany, and it's a 9.60, but that's still a good time. 14.56 for Megan Hall, and 2 cookies on the deck, and thumbs up from Bart Janssen, our head judge, to give her an official time. Here we go. So that was a pretty nice start. She got a little bit of a hang up, not a hang up, but she hovered over the block before she started her cut. But better to be safe than sorry. Maybe slow your time ever so slightly and make sure that you've got yourself lined up for 2 good cuts. And those were fantastic cookies for Megan Hall. So that's a good start for her. She's got a time in the books. And we move on to heat number 2 with Marie Derieux and Kelly Kerrigan. Little battle of the 49th parallel here between Canada and the USA. I like the statement of the pink chaps from Marie Derieux. There's no missing her in a party bus, hey, with those things. Yeah, the protective pants are required for these sawing disciplines as we get the whistle for preparation. Here we go.
Okay. Warm up yourself. Athletes, ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Good even start by both Marie and Kelly, who's got the bottom. Oh, Kelly's a little bit faster on that first cut. Transition from Marie was a bit quicker, and I think she's gonna through the top. Oh my goodness, how close was that between Marie Derieux and Kelly Kerrigan? And a personal best for Derieux with a 13.67. Kelly Kerrigan with a 13.45.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, both goods are good.
All right, so Kelly Kerrigan moves to the top of the sock saw rankings with a 13.38 official. Marie Derieux with a 13.67. In second place, Megan Hall in third place for the moment with a 14.56 as they get those blocks set up for our final heat. As we quickly look back at the replay, both of them started quite evenly. That first cut from Kelly Kerrigan was fast zone. Oh, that was a beautiful transition from the American woman. She really did a good job. It looked like Marie Derieux had a very nice transition as well, but that second block was a little bit thick, so that might have dragged a little bit on that upcut. Okay, next up we've got Åsa Nordberg and Tove Njåstad.
Åsa Nordberg och Tove Njåstad som är redo här kommer upp på scenen. Ja, det där är lite jäkla bra. Det är lite mer har ni, va? Ja, det är bra.
Tove Njåstad, quite adept with the stocks on her hands. Personal best time for her, 10:10. So theoretically speaking, she has the pedigree for this discipline here against this whole lineup of athletes. Will she be able to hold that pedigree down, or will the pressure get to her? She's well enough experienced in competition so that should she get a good start, she should be able to be clean through those blocks. Åsa Nordberg looking to get a solid time as well.
Ready.
Captain Obvious speaking over here.
Stand to your timber.
All right,
3,
here we go.
2, 1, go!
Very nice start from Tove. She drops that cookie. Oh, that's very even. Tove leaning in hard on that upcut. Is she going to be faster than Åsa? That is dead even. 14.11 to 13.98. That is so close. And those might even get a bit closer once we get to that competition control center and they're looking at those timed runs. Quick check to make sure all is good, and we got thumbs up, so we should have 2 good cookies on the deck for both. We do. And let's see what the official times come out to. Åsa Nordberg 13.89 to Tove Norstad 14.03. So Åsa just a hair faster than Tove. Kelly Kerrigan still atop the leaderboard here with a 13.38. Well, that came really close on that first cookie, though. Whoa. Thin to win is the word of the day, and that is absolutely a thin cookie. Very risky as well, because if you don't have a complete cookie, you could risk the disqualification. She had a great couple of cuts. Both of these women just fantastic in that case. You can see how close that really was between the two of them. Okay, so after the first discipline, Kelly Kerrigan atop the leaderboard with 13.38. Not far behind Marie Derieux with a 13.67 and a personal best for her. And Megan Hall managing to get a very solid personal best in 14.56. So these times are all very, very close together in the stock saw. And at the moment, that is going to be your overall standings as well, being the first discipline as we get the stage set up for our next discipline coming up, and that is the standing block chop. And you can see our crew. It's almost like a Formula One crew getting the stage set up. And while they do that, let's take a look at the discipline standing block.
The axes used in timber sports definitely can't be bought at your local hardware store. Made from special steel, the blade is hand sanded with an angle of 13 to 16 degrees. It's custom built and carefully adjusted for each competition. The weight is around 3 kilos and it's about 80 centimeters long. The blade is so sharp that you could shave with it. Standing block chop. At the standing block chop, the felling of a tree with an axe is simulated. A vertically positioned wooden block with a diameter of 25 centimeters has to be cut through from both sides. A powerful and precise swing with the axe is the premise of a good result.
All right, standing block chop lineups, here you go. Megan Hall out on her own again. This time, Åsa Nordberg will be in a heat with Kelly Kerrigan and Marie Derieux, and Tove Norstad in heat number 3. Standing block chop is an interesting discipline because it requires a lot of control of the axe. You really have to know how to angle that axe exactly right in order to cut correctly. One false angle of the axe and you could skip away, and the axe could fly off the block where you need to keep control. Or if you're going into the blocks too straight, you're just gonna bounce that axe straight back out, or you're not gonna cut wood. You wanna have the angle so that you're actually chipping the material away. So we'll keep a close eye on how these heats go as Megan Hall comes out onto stage for her heat here. And again, she'll be on her own. Bit of a tough situation for an athlete to be on the stage alone. You don't have the adrenaline pump of somebody else being out there with you. So you have to basically depend on your ability to push the time. Here we go.
Okay. Athlete ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Chipping out right away. Some nice angles. Should also point out that these disciplines do have a time limit, and the time limit is there in order to provide a little bit of safety as well, and make sure that it doesn't run too long. A little bit of house cleaning there to make sure the hands are clean. Sometimes a chip will fly off there and get caught in between the hand and the handle. It's pretty important to make sure that your hands have grip that you need. So that's a bit of a shortcut on that first side by Megan Hall. She's going to have a lot more work to do on that second side as she's approaching a 1 minute mark here. She's got to get this done in 1 minute and 30 seconds if I am not incorrect with the time. That was a nice big chip. Oh, it's left hanging there. That's going to cause problems. It's in the way. She'll want to clear that out. And again, that's something that's going to take away time from her cut. A little bit of a skip there. You can see she's going in a bit straighter. It's showing signs of fatigue here. This is very tiring. You know, a 3 kilogram axe, and then you're swinging that, you're hitting, you got to take it out of the block and reset, swing again and hit. It's not an easy thing to do, and you really have to be fit, and you got to have your targeting on point for this discipline. All right, so there, unfortunately, we have a disqualification due to time limit exceeded. Again, this is one of those very, very difficult disciplines. You need to have the power, you need to have the precision and the aim, and you need to have the endurance to be able to really get through this.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately we have the queue out of time.
All right, so Megan Hall is our first DQ of the day and the standing block chop. And again, it's a very, very difficult discipline, and you need to really be on point with your angles. Now we see her, she started off well, some nice big chips coming out. Really wasn't stepping off that back foot as much as she probably could have. And I believe she shortcut that first side thinking, you know, let me just get around to that other side and try and get through that second side as quickly as possible. And unfortunately, I think she probably could have spent a little bit more time on that first side and cut less on the second side. But that's just a layman's opinion here. And you can see there she was starting to get a bit tired, and those cuts were going in straight instead of at the angle. All right, next heat coming up, Åsa Nordberg up against Kelly Kerrigan. Personal best for Kelly Kerrigan, 42.28. That's a really good time. Åsa Nordberg, personal best 127.01. So she might be in tough here. She's got to make it within the 1:30 time limit. You have to know that these women are training regularly and hard to make sure that they are ready for these competitions. Here we go.
Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Two hits from down below, 2 hits from above. Kelly Kerrigan getting into that right away. Nice accurate shots by Kelly Kerrigan in the blue. Åsa Nordberg in the yellow there, representing Sweden. She's got some nice chips coming out as well. Kelly Kerrigan moved to the second side of her block already. Åsa Nordberg gingerly around to the second side to start and try and get through that block within the time limit. Kelly Kerrigan approaching the 40-second mark here. Remember, her best time, 42.28. Don't think she's going to make that today. Should be under a minute, though, with the way this block is looking for her, and a couple more drivers should do it. Oh, she's having trouble on this last couple of hits, so there it goes. 54.23 for Kelly Kerrigan, and she gets through. Åsa Nordberg still working on that second side. A lot of salad on the first side for her still. Again, not really a deep cut on that first side, short-cutting a little bit perhaps to try and save some time. She got 20 seconds to get through this here. It looks like it's starting to shake a little bit here. Oh, she might get a personal best. She's done it. Yes, a personal best of 1:20.28. Now, the time could be better, obviously, but she's going to be happy about a personal best, and we love to see those personal bests drop because that just tells you that there is improvement happening. So good job by Åsa Nordberg against Kelly Kerrigan there. And both cuts are good. Nordberg getting herself a personal best. Kelly Kerrigan not getting a personal best, but she is under the minute mark. Let's let's take a look back here. On the first side, you can see Kelly Kerrigan chipping out nicely right off the bat. Her angles were really good. Accuracy also looking very, very nice there. Åsa Nordberg, yeah, a little bit straight on the bottom, but she had some good power going in there. You could see some of the chips coming out weren't that massive or anything, but she's still working it very well. And there's that final driver for Kelly Kerrigan as she dropped the top of that block. And here you could see it wiggling and waggling for Åsa Nordberg. And you could probably guess that she was getting a bit nervous as the time started to wind down. So updated personal best for her was actually 1:19.98. So very good job. And we get to heat number 3 here with Marie de Rieu and Tova Njørstad. Tova's got a lot of power.
Okay.
And she has a very, very wide
Athletes
stance.
ready.
Marie is very
Stand
tall.
to your timber.
And she can use that
3,
to her advantage
2,
as well. Here we go.
1, go!
Can't tell exactly right now, but it looks like Tova might be using the banana blade. Tova moving to the other side. Marie right there with her. Both of them on pace right now as they get into it. Both of them have cuts in under a minute as their best times. In fact, both of them are under 50 seconds for their best times. Will they be able to get through there? There's a good even heat between these two women here. Marie de Rieu chipping out nicely. Tova Njørstad coming close to it as she gets it to wiggling and waggling. Definitely not going to make their personal bests here, but should be, if everything goes well, under a minute, one would hope, but these blocks are not playing, and a little bit of a skip there by Tova Njørstad, and she's chipped her blade. You could see her reaction as she took a quick look at it, and she opts just to keep going. And Marie de Rieu also, I think she's maybe run into a bit of a knot in the block, and we'll get a closer look at that maybe from one of our camera people later on. And Tova really struggling. This is unusual to see her struggling here, but that chip that came out of her axe is probably causing big problems for her, and she's just trying to power through it at this point. But she's going to run into a DQ, and oh man, that is really a tough break for Tova Njørstad. She is usually much, much better in this discipline, and that is a bummer for her, absolutely, and she is not happy about that at all.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have DQ stand 3 out of time. However, stand 1 is good.
Well, unusual drop from Tova Njørstad there, as she is going to definitely look back at the situation and see what happened. You can see she started off really well. Her accuracy is great. She's got good power, and she just wanted to get right into it as quickly as possible. And I think what happened on the second side, she might have chipped her blade somewhere along the way. Marie de Rieu, both of them usually faster than 50 seconds, but I guess the wood just wasn't behaving today. You can see a lot of steps there on Marie's second side, leaving her a ton of material to have to work through. And basically that was just hammering it off the top. So at this point in time, standing block chop results leave Kelly Kerrigan at the top with Marie de Rieu and Åsa Nordberg in positions 2 and 3 respectively. And yeah, that is a face of an unhappy camper right there after standing block chop. And there we see the official results for the standing block chop, and we'll also take a look how that affects the overall standings here shortly. So the overall standings, small change at the bottom of the rankings. Tova Njørstad in 4th place as opposed to 5th place now. And Kelly Kerrigan, Marie de Rieu, and Åsa Nordberg stay in positions 1, 2, and 3.
meter lång skog som de ska hantera här. Och tidigare i de här tävlingssammanhangen.
While we get this stage set up for our next discipline, the single buck, we're going to take a quick preview of a film that's coming out in the next months called Road to New Zealand. And this is a quick documentary on one of the strongest timber sports teams in the world, Team New Zealand.
I think we've just had a great culture over the years. We've got some really good individuals, and together we've always got on really, really well.
You know, real legends of the sport, you know, absolute pioneers of STIHL Timbersports.
Accelerator, brake, come on.
Turn the cameras off, this is embarrassing.
The team always being super close.
They're like a family.
But yeah, they get along really well and yeah, have fun doing it.
Bobby, where are you?
Australia would be our biggest rival.
Two teams that know each other very well.
To win, you got to put the hard work in at home, and that's what motivates me the most, to want to win, yeah.
On competition day, it's all about focus, getting the job done.
Come on, Shane! Come on, mate! Your corner and go! Come on, mate! Hard! Hard, Shane! Come on, mate!
Kyle Lemon is back in the team. He's our stock sawyer. Jack Jordan, who's our underhand cutter. Bobby Dowling is our single sawyer.
Freeze, mate, freeze!
Shane Jordan as our standing block cutter.
Sorry, mate. Chin up, chin up.
Competing with the Jordan brothers. We don't need to say much about them. Kyle Lemon, with a chainsaw in his hand, he's a real legend of the sport.
You're in now, no, you're in!
It's a real privilege to be up on that stage with those three men.
Good cut, good cut. Well done. Fuck, that's an awkward handshake.
All right, single buck is ready to go, and this time it is going to be Tova Njostad competing on her own on stage. And we've got to check out the tool and discipline for the single buck. Let's watch that.
The 2-meter-long cross-cut saw used for the single buck discipline is made especially for competition. A series of consistently patterned 10-centimeter-long teeth are cut with a laser on one side of the saw and then hand-sharpened. Saw teeth are divided into two types, cutters and rakers, just like on the old-school saws. The saw weighs about 5 kilos and its base price starts at around €1,500. Single buck. The single buck is a one-man saw about 2 meters long. With this, the athletes have to cut off a complete disc from a 40-centimeter thick wooden block. The perfect interplay between rhythm and strength is the key to success.
So there you see our single buck lineup. Tova Njostad will be heat number 1 on her own. Then Åsa Nordberg and Marie Derieux and Kelly Kerrigan and Megan Hall, respectively, in heats 2 and 3. World record for women, 17.97, season's best so far, 2016. And Tova, she needs a good time here in this discipline to make up for a pretty rough standing block.
Athlete ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
And I mean, Tova, she needs to forget what happened in the discipline before, and she needs just to get to business here. And she is looking fantastic in this one. She got right into it, keeping that saw moving. The flow is going very nicely for her. She is going knuckles to tip on that cut, and it's looking really, really good for her. Getting down towards the bottom of her cut now. We should have a good time for her. Let's see what it's going to be. 25, 26 seconds. 25:34, a personal best for Tova. Very nice cut, and she needed that. She absolutely needed that. So that's going to be a solid time for her. And 25:34 unofficial. And it looks like they've already made an adjustment to that time, now making it official 25:12. So that's a very, very nice time for Tova Njostad.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the cut is good.
Well, she owned that saw the whole way through. Tove Njostad looking really, really good. She got it started, and it just never stopped for her. She kept it clean. She kept it moving. She had some nice long strokes through the middle of that cut, and at the bottom, she shortcut and did a bit of a short stroke there to try and just get through the bottom as quickly as possible. This is a nice time, 25-12, a personal best for her. And like I mentioned, after that standing block chop, she really needed a good, clean cut on the single buck in order to get some points for herself. Okay, now moving on to Åsa Nordberg up against Marie Derieux. And what does that actually mean, up against? I mean, these women are competing against each other, but they're also competing against the clock. And when you see the two of them on stage at the same time, it's not a head-to-head battle and elimination. It's just about getting that vibe going on stage, as it were. So as I mentioned earlier, Marie Derieux is quite tall, so this can be used to her advantage if she's got a long stance and can really utilize the entire length of that 2-meter-long single saw. It's nicknamed the Misery Whip. Sterling Hart actually turned me on to that name, and he said to me that, yeah, it made him miserable, so they call it the Misery Whip. And it really can make you miserable if that thing stops mid-cut, which it will do if you change the angle even slightly, then it will stop, and getting it restarted is a wrestling match.
Okay. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Oh, both of them stopping almost at the same time there on their initial cuts. Marie Derieux now starting to Marie Derieux. And Marie looking good as she comes down to the bottom of this cut. It doesn't look like she's moving the saw fast, but she's got a very, very efficient cut. 28.52, a personal best for Marie. Well done. Åsa now struggling. You can see how flat that saw is, and she's got to bend over, which means it takes away a lot of power from her. And she's got a 49.4. She'll take that as well as a personal best, but Tove Njostad, for the moment, has the fastest time of the day at 25.12. And this is nice to see, actually. Personal best in the 3 that have gone so far, so that's good. And you know what they say, if it's sawing well, it probably is not going to chop very well, and vice versa.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, both cuts are good.
Okay, so it's official. Those cuts are good. Both of them taking personal best. Tove still with the top time of the day with one more heat to go. And Kelly Kerrigan and Megan Hall. We can see here both of them stopping roughly at the same time, and you can see that whipping action of that saw. Well, that's why they call it the Misery Whip. It stops, it whips, it gets a little bit Riley, and then you got to get it started again. And once Marie got that saw moving, you could see she wasn't moving it back with a lot of speed, but it was cutting very efficiently. You can see here that Åsa was very, very flat in the cut, and as she got down towards the bottom of the cut, she had to bend down and lost a lot of the power that she could have taken out of her body in the back leg. All right, Kelly Kerrigan now up against Megan Hall. All right, a couple of quick adjustments to the blocks to make sure that they're all even. This is something that our judges take very, very seriously, to make sure that all of the blocks and competition equipment is fair for everybody. It's actually a point of pride for Bart Janssen, and it's discussed quite often that make sure that everybody really has fair conditions on stage. And you see Kelly Kerrigan, and she's a mathematician about this as well. She's measuring everything with a tape measure to make sure that she's in the position that she wants to be in and has the saw exactly where she wants it to be. And she'll be cutting from the other side. Something else that's really key is this first set that what we're seeing right now is just setting the groove so that the saw sits in the groove. And you can see Bart Janssen there measuring with a special tool that's been developed so that they have exactly the same depth for each competitor's saw sitting in the block. And this is a point that's also important to make sure that the saw is sitting in straight. If you have a slight angle and you start to cut, you could end up cutting out at the bottom, and that's the last thing that you want to do with the single buck because there is just no easy reset with this saw.
Okay. Athletes ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
All right, great view there from Megan Hall's side of the stage as we look through to Kelly Kerrigan, and both of these women getting started. But look at the style of Kelly Kerrigan. She loses the tip of that blade into the block, goes right to the knuckles almost, and she's just really having a super efficient cut there. She's almost at the bottom of her cut. Oh, she got a little bit stuck up there, and that time is definitely going to change. I'm pretty sure it's going to be around the 23, 24 second mark. Megan Hall struggling a little bit at the bottom, changing her angle slightly, and she is through in 36.06. That's a personal best for Megan. Very well done. A big hop of that saw for Kelly Kerrigan, though, as she pulled it back when it got stuck, and our timer stopped a little bit in advance of the actual time. So, yeah, there we see the official time, 23:35 for Kelly Kerrigan. A very nice personal best for her, and she has got the lead in single buck. This is a great view right here. Very cinematic. Maybe we can get another view in slow-mo of that hop of the saw from Kelly Kerrigan here. It hooked up right here, and then she just hopped it up into this position, cut through that last little bit. I mean, that was a lucky break on her part. It could have been that that saw broke out the disc, which would have been a disaster for her because she was so well in time. And there, the final nice cut from Megan Hall. So, single buck results, Kelly Kerrigan atop the rankings there with 23.35. Not that far behind, though, is Tove Njørstad. She really needed those points as well with a 25.12 in second place. And Marie Derieux in third place there. Let's take a look how that affects our overall standings now. Kelly Kerrigan maintains the top spot with 15 points. Marie Derieux in second place with 11. Åsa Nordberg in third place with 7. And Tove Njørstad in fourth place at the moment with 6. Megan Hall with 3 points at the bottom there in fifth place. So Tove does have a chance to jump back up in this last discipline if she can have a really good underhand chop. And otherwise, this one is Kelly Kerrigan's to lose, basically. Marie Derieux not that far behind, so has an opportunity to take over the top spot. So it's a battle right now of the top two as we head towards the underhand chop. You can see the crowd is starting to enjoy a little bit of a cloudy day, but it's temperature is not that bad. It's warm enough to be able to hang out and not worry too much about it. There's all sorts of stuff happening. It's a little festival atmosphere as our first athlete coming on stage will be Megan Hall for Heat 1. And before that, let's check out the discipline that we're going to be looking at.
The axes used in timber sports definitely can't be bought at your local hardware store. Made from special steel, the blade is hand-sanded with an angle of 13 to 16 degrees. It's custom built and carefully adjusted for each competition. The weight is around 3 kilos and it's about 80 centimeters long. The blade is so sharp that you could shave with it. Underhand chop. In the past, the underhand chop technique was used to split logs. Standing on a horizontally anchored block, The athletes use an axe to cut through a 30-centimeter log. The block has to be worked from both sides.
So Megan Hall will be first on stage, then Åsa Nordberg and Tove Njørstad, and then Kelly Kerrigan and Marie Derieux. That's our lineup and our 3 heats for the underhand chop. And as you saw there briefly, the world record for the underhand chop, 23.61 seconds for the women. That is currently held by Erin Lavoie from the United States of America.
Är det kul eller? Ja, underbart.
On stage commentator having some fun with the audience on hand as they start to get excited about the final discipline here for our Nordic Women's Cup 2025. Tove Njørstad doing some breathing exercises, perhaps? Somehow I don't think so. Now you can see Megan Hall in discussion in the back. All right, here we go. Megan Hall coming out onto the stage. The cheers of her other timber sports athletes in the background. So the object, as you learned from the video earlier, is to cut through the block from both sides. She'll start with her back to the audience, and object here, do it quick and accurate.
Athlete ready.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Nice big chip flying out there. 4 drivers in. Got to work on that accuracy here. You want to cut existing wood. You don't want to be cutting new wood. So trying to be as clean on those drivers in is the object here. Looking good after those first few drivers. She's found her accuracy very nicely on this first side, and she's got nice and deep actually. So it's not as open an initial set of cuts, and she'll switch to the other side, and she'll probably open up that second side a little bit wider. Trying to find that balance up there. Again, these chopping disciplines can be so tiring. You can see she's definitely wider open on the second side, trying to get as much material out of there as possible. Her accuracy is actually very good here on this second side. A little bit steppy in a couple of spots, but really not that bad or out of the ordinary as she's past the minute mark. She's got to be done in 1:30 though. So she should be able to get through this in the next couple of drivers. There, she's got it, a personal best, 1:14.69 for Megan Hall. Well done. That was a nice cut. Good job by her.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the cut is good.
And any timber sports athlete will tell you they'll take a personal best any day of the week. And that is exactly what Megan Hall just did. She's got herself a personal best. She'll be super happy about that as the crew comes up onto stage to get ready for our next pairing. Let's take a look back here. Now you can see here on this first side, that was the first indication of a little bit of inaccuracy, but after that, it got real clean. And you can see on this particular side, especially, that very, very soft face, clean sides. Here, moving around to that second side, gingerly finding position, and then she gets started on that second side facing the audience. can see a little bit steppy on the second one, and I think that the fatigue probably plays a little bit of a role there as well, and you lose that accuracy ever so slightly. All right, next heat, heat number 2, sees both of the Swedes in the mix, Åsa Nordberg against Tova Njörstad. And this is, again, a discipline where Tova is pretty strong. Let's see if I can find out what her personal best is in this one. So underhand chop for her, 40.09 is her fastest time personal best. So that's a pretty solid time. If she can pull that off today, she'll be in good position. And she really needs the points as well if she wants to be on the podium. Right now, she's sitting in 4th place. So it definitely is possible for her. So far, the American Kelly Kerrigan has won every single event, stock saw, standing block chop, and single buck. So she'll be aiming for a perfect day here if she can win the underhand chop. But you know that Åsa Nordberg and Tova Njörstad are going to have a few words about that. They don't want that to happen, especially in their home country. So these two ladies will definitely be working hard to get through this underhand chop as quickly as possible. You see the best time for Åsa, 1 minute and 13 hundredths of a second, or tenths of a second. And Tova Njörstad, as I said, a 14.09.
Okay.
She actually earned that at the German Championship a couple years ago.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
A little sticky there for Tova, but you can see that she actually cuts with a pretty decent amount of pace. So she tries to get that axe moving as quickly as possible. It's also, as I mentioned, important to have that accuracy, but as well, use that accuracy with power. Now, that's a bit of a steppy first side, but she went through there just going for it and trying to get through that block as quickly as possible. Åsa Nordberg moving to the second side, about 2 drivers behind Tova Njörstad. So she's right on pace with Tova at the moment. Tova looking good here as she comes towards the 40-second mark, as she's trying to get through that block, and I think she sees something that we can't see over here, and she's done it in 43.77. Not her best time, but a very good time nevertheless. Åsa Nordberg also working hard to get through that block, and she's done it as well in 52.74, obliterating her previous time. Very nicely done, and a personal best for Åsa Nordberg. So improvements right there for her, and that is fantastic to see.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, both guns are good.
All right, so one more heat to go here in our women's competition, and that is the last underhand chop, heat number 3, with Kelly Kerrigan up against Marie Derieux. So final preparations for the final heat of our women's competition. Kelly Kerrigan well in control of this one, and she just needs a really good time here to make it a perfect day for her. I think Marie Derieux or perhaps Tova Njörstad would like to see that bent a little bit. Tova Njörstad currently the time to beat with a 43.40 on the underhand chop.
Ready.
Here we go.
Stand to your timber. 3, 2, 1, go!
Marie Derieux is going to have to be careful with her foot positioning there on that block so that she doesn't get a DQ. Meanwhile, Kelly Kerrigan, wow, nice accurate shots. Are a little bit off on that one right-hand sided shot, but she is deep into that first side. Should be switching fairly quickly. There she goes. Marie Derieux right there with her, switching to that second side. Marie chipping out nicely on that second side. Kelly Kerrigan doing the same thing. We might see some good times from both of these North American women here. Who's going to get through that block first as we near in on the 40-second mark? Oh, 40-10 for Kelly Kerrigan and Marie Derieux. Getting there, almost had it, but it's a 45-53 for her. Very well done. No personal best for either of these women in that case, but the times are very good. And if everything stands too well, Kelly Kerrigan's had a perfect day.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, both girls are good.
So there you go. That is all she wrote for our women's competition. And Kelly Kerrigan, by virtue of having all 5 disciplines won, will take this one home. What a great competition, though. And Tove Njørstad, it was a bit of a rough one on the standing block chop with her running out of time and not getting through. That is something that she will be very, very disappointed by, because she knows she could do better and has done better. But that is just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, unfortunately. You can see here in this battle between Kelly Kerrigan and Marie Derieux, it was Kelly Kerrigan all the way on that one with a time of 40.21. Marie Derieux with a 45.29. And the underhand chop then goes to Kelly Kerrigan. Tove Njørstad does redeem herself in the underhand with the second place and a 43.40. And Marie Derieux with a 45.29 in third place on underhand. Let's see how that changes things on the overall, which should move Tove Njørstad into a podium position. It does. Kelly Kerrigan wins it overall. And Marie Derieux has second place with Tove Njørstad redeeming herself, as I said, moving up into the bronze medal position on the podium. Congratulations to our women here. What a great showing for Timber Sports on the women's side. So last minute preparations on stage, cleaning up, and we're going to get ready for our awards ceremony, which will be coming up shortly. So coming up, we have our awards ceremony, but also coming up later today, we still have the men's competition, and this is going to be our Nordic Pro Championship here in just about 45 minutes to an hour's time, where our men will compete for qualifying positions for the World Championships, which are coming up in Milan, Italy, on the 24th and 25th of October. You'll see that at the bottom of our screen there. Also coming up in the next couple weeks, we've got the 14th and 15th of June, the British Championships for the men and the women. And then the 26th of July and 27th of July, the U.S. competitions are coming up. Then the French are on the 3rd of August, Benelux on the 16th, and the 17th is the European Trophy in Benelux, or in the same place in the Netherlands as well. And then the 30th of August, Germany, Austria, Switzerland Pro Final there. We're going to see the qualifiers for the World Championships. And then the Australians are busy on the 13th of September for their Pro Championships from Broad Beach. So lots of activity coming up in the next few months, really leading us towards our team and individual World Championships in Milan, Italy on the 24th and 25th of October. We really hope you guys could join us live there, because it is something to witness. But if you can't, definitely check out our live stream. Okay, so we are set and ready to go by the looks of it for our awards ceremony. And I do believe we will start off with third place, as is traditional. Okay, I've just been informed we're going to invite all of the women up onto stage. it is a short list, so that seems only fair.
Så mina damer och herrar, ladies and gentlemen. Is they ready down there? Yeah. Good. Så på femte plats.
So in 5th place, we have our Canadian Megan Hall. So she had the DQ in the standing block chop for overtime, but she did well in the single buck stock saw and underhand chop. Next up, we have Åsa Nordberg from Sweden. 4th place for her today. And let's get to our top 3. Tova Njostad, a little bit of an unlucky run on the standing block chop, but she redeemed herself in single buck and the underhand chop to manage to get onto the bronze medal spot on the podium. A good job by her, and could be that she would have been in the silver position had she not had that DQ on the standing block chop. 2nd place today, however, goes to our Canadian Marie Derieux. She had solid, consistent performance throughout the day with a 14 points total, and she will take the silver medal on today's activities. And hugs and kisses all around for our fantastic women competitors. But boy, oh boy, I tell you what, Kelly Kerrigan, she dominated today, winning each of the 4 events, 20 total points for her, and she stomped her name in this competition. Absolutely. Kelly Kerrigan, a perfect day for her. 1st place in each of the disciplines and 1st place overall.
Big hand for everyone.
So there you go. That is our podium. Tova Njostad in 3rd place, Marie Derieux in 2nd place, and Kelly Kerrigan dominating the competition today in 1st place atop the podium.
Your first time here, yeah. Is it your first time competing internationally?
First time competing in Europe and first time on the 1st place podium. So, thank you.
If you were to sum up your competition today, how would you do that?
I mean, overall, I did okay. The wood is phenomenal here. But the ladies I've competed against made this experience totally amazing. It's been great.
It's been great. That sums it up really good. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to all the competitors here today. And thank you. You've been a great audience. And final round of applause for our competitors.
All right, so great job by all our women, and we're going to try and get a photo op with all of them on the top of the podium, or at least we get to see their backsides while they're getting their picture taken with the audience in the background. In the meantime, I'll sign off and say thank you very much for joining us here for the Nordic Women's Championship 2000, or the Nordic Women's Cup, excuse me, 2025. We hope you enjoyed the show with these fantastic athletes out there, and we'll see you in just under an hour's time for our men's competition. And that is starting at 1:10 this afternoon. So actually, we have a little bit more time to chill and be ready for the men's competition coming later on. See you guys later. Enjoy the rest of the day, and join us again, won't you?